There we go. All right. Well, thank you for joining. If you're just coming on, let us know who you are, what your name is, and what your business is, and how we can get in touch with you, find you on Instagram, Facebook, or anything of the likes. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes.
Here's how I get my kids and myself to eat more apples. I slice them, I remove the core, and I season with pumpkin spice. Then I add a touch of coconut oil and air fry at 300 degrees for 15 minutes. They come out so good. Everything I did for him, and no matter what, nothing was ever good. He didn't care about my feelings, but he would promise me that.
How's everybody? We'll be getting started very shortly. If you're just coming on, let us know who you are in the comments. What's your name? If you have a business, occupation, let us know what that is. And let us know how we can find you on Instagram or Facebook. I don't see you. Let me see. Let me send it to you again. Let's try that one. I don't see you here. You should pop up in the session with me. See if that one works. Did this one work? There he is. Nice, nice. Absolutely. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get started, and then I'm going to bring on our guest speaker, Mr. Andre Vaughn. I see you there, so I'm going to bring you onto the stream in just a few seconds. Well, as a lot of you know, I'm Jason Johnson, founder of Black Wall Street Charm City. Our mission here with Black Wall Street is to stimulate the minds of our youth and adults in the community by giving valuable information that will help guide us to new levels of economic growth. I also want to say, in heaven, um, you know, we lost a very significant individual recently, Miss Cicely Tyson. She lived a long life, and she's a strong representation in the Black community by the path that she was able to pave for a lot of our Black women models and actresses out here. So rest in heaven to her. For some of you who may not know, one of the most popular places of Black Wall Street was derived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. O.W. Gurley was the founding visionary to guide Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma in the mid 1800s. They reigned from around the mid 1800s to the early part of the 1920s. They were the prime representation of the way our Black economic system should look like today. The communities fluctuated the dollar back then through the services and products built by the Black-owned businesses there in the community. The grocery stores, the movie theaters, the doctor's office, the lawyers, you name it. The dollar circulated over 100 times before even leaving out the Black community. It would almost be a year before a single dollar left the community. Now, in our day and time, it doesn't last longer than 6 hours in the Black community. Something that we'll strive to improve as we continue to grow and gain the knowledge and work the system so that we can grow as individuals and peoples. Now, today's speaker is an example of Black excellence in creating wealth for the generation to come. He is a business owner, investor, author, father, husband, motivational speaker, and network marketing expert. He has a wealth of knowledge that will help refine and build onto your blueprint and your pursuit of the next level of success. So without further ado, I'm going to add on to the stream, Mr. Andre Vaughn. How you doing, sir? Can you hear me loud and clear? There you go.
Can you hear me, buddy?
Yes, I can hear you loud and
clear. Yeah, I can hear you. Crazy, man. I'm excited to be here, man. I love what you're doing. You know, I've watched you grow into something, you know, phenomenal. And just for you to really reach out to the folks and get them in line with excellence, especially in the Black community, man, we Absolutely. Need more people. I find that once people find their way, they don't reach back and do things like this. And so this is a wonderful platform. And I'm so excited about it, man. I'm double duty. I'm speaking on 2 platforms at the same time, but man, we're going to make this work for sure.
You know, I know that, you know, in order to strive and to, you know, create for yourself, be a disciple and, you know, fellowship behind the individuals who are paving the way. And you were one of those, you know, mentors in my life that I've watched over the years grow and teach and mold your team in order to, you know, stay head on the vision to create. So, you know, I want to say thank you to you for the nuggets that you've given me over the year, because it's helped structure my characteristics of who I am to continue to pursue what it is that I'm pursuing. Absolutely. So, you know, for starters, tell everybody who Andre Vaughn is.
Well, hey, listen, you know, I'm from Woodlawn, Maryland, went to Woodlawn High School. From there, you know, I'm a family of 5. I have, you know, a twin sister, an older brother, and mother. My father passed, but I'm telling you, one of the things I love, and this is going to be the foundation to getting things done, is bringing a family together. You know, we go out and, you know, you see, you have one individual going out and doing major things, and then your family is not in support. In this day and age, you're going to need all the support, and it starts right at home. So family of 5, I went to Woodlawn High School. From there, you know, I went to University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
You can hear me, Jason. Okay.
Loud and clear.
Went to University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. From there, you know, got an undergrad in criminal justice. Figured out that, okay, let me get more degrees like they trained us, right? Went to UMBC to get a degree there in design and curriculum and education. And I taught 2nd grade, and I figured out I was a big I'm a big Ravens fan, and I went to that first Super Bowl, and I figured out that, man, this is not what I want to do. You know, I want to be around excellence, you know, and so I can always go back and teach for free as community service. And it started from there. I started a family of 4, you know, 2 twin girls, 10, wife, and we're entrepreneurs at heart. You know, even they are entrepreneurs. And, you know, for me, it's just all about moving forward. It's not about making excuses. We can take every situation and make an excuse, but the people before us, even who started and founded Black Wall Street, like they started something. I know they had a lot of opposition, especially in that day and time, but they kept pushing through. And so we're benefiting from their vision that they did before. My question is, like, who's going to benefit 50 years from now from our vision?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And getting into that, what are some factors that led you to the levels of success that you've been able to grasp hold of?
You know, it's always wanting more. You know, I just want more. You know, I'm hungry. I'm never satisfied. And so, you know, you make $1, you're going to want to make 2. You make 2, you're going to want to make 4. You know, I'm in a multiplication frequency. and leaving a legacy. And so just the mere fact of leaving a legacy and teaching others how to leave a legacy as well, that's the motivation. And, if it was just about ourselves, then we would all be good, right? But it's about more than ourselves. It's about teaching. It's about folks looking up to you and you being their mentor. And, I'm excited. And that's my reason why, to be able to provide not just for my family, my kids, but other people's family. I want to give them something that they can take tangible and teach them how to fish instead of giving them a fish. And so that's been my motivation. And man, every day I wake up, I think about that Rocky Balboa. I thank God, for the gifts that we've been given, but I'm going to put it to work. God and all the folks before who made that sacrifice, they're going to make sure, I'm going to make sure that they're proud of me. That's for sure.
I know that's right. Still rocking off the Eye of the Tiger in the morning? Oh,
yeah. Eye of the Tiger. Every time I hit the stage, years later, I'm playing that Eye of the Tiger, baby. It's just something that I just go in a trance. When I hear that, I'm just ready to really roll. I wake up ready to go, but man, that Eye of the Tiger just puts me in a trance and I'm just ready to go to work.
I know it. So talking about the morning, do you have a morning routine that gets you set for the day? Like what gets you, structured and going in the day? What does Andre Vaughn do?
You know what? The first thing is that, when you wake up, when you finish sleeping, you just meditate. I started meditating, just, visualizing what I want for that day and still what I want, the overall goal. And so a lot of times people wake up, and I used to do this a lot, like just start looking at your phone and start being in this reactive state, right? And so now I just start, meditating. Visualization is so important and key before I get going, and just go ahead and be at peace with myself and make sure that I'm spending time with me. Because once I get going, you're going to have to be a service to so many people. So you got to spend some time early. From then, I'm even looking at, once I finish that, I try to get my exercise. I just started like really getting back, really being, disciplined when it comes to working out. That is so critical. Even if it's just 15 minutes, 10 minutes, just get going somewhere. And one day I was just like, let me just roll out the bed and just start doing push-ups. I didn't even, at the end of the day, I had to start somewhere. And that's where I feel like people have to figure out how to just start somewhere. And so they can go to the next. So after I work out, man, I have a list of calls that I have to do. And, I'll take, some nutritional supplements, and I'll start my calls and start my day and get to it. I'm a real believer. Let's get to it. We can get so much accomplished if we can just get to it and do things in 15-minute increments.
15-minute increments. So do you, well, I guess you can't do your phone calls in 15 increments. So how do you schedule and align your day so that you can, get the most out of it?
You know what? I started the 15-minute format. So I do a lot of my calls now in 15 minutes. And so, because you can get what you need to do, a lot of times calls are a lot of fillers. I like to just get to the point, and so folks can get back to their lives and their family. And so you can get in position to be able to handle 200 companies. If you're spending hours and hours on one company, when you open up your next company, you're not going to be able to do it because it's not enough time in the day. And so I try to align my schedule. In my, certain days, I sometimes spend a little bit more time with me in the morning where I don't jump to calls. Some days, after I get my morning routine, then I'm getting right into the call. So it all depends what that day is. But, rest assured, Sunday on football during the Ravens time, that's a non-negotiable. So I'm not. You always have to do some things. You have to have some personal policies for yourself and don't do anything.
Understood. So with that being said, I know that you've written a book, and I know in there you say life is about a bunch of curveballs, and the better you get at catching every one of them, the more beautiful your life becomes. Where did that come from?
Yeah, you know what? Like all of the trials and tribulations that you go through, everybody wants to be entrepreneurs, but they don't want to have to deal with the things that happen to entrepreneurs. It's almost like 22. When you start doing great things, folks start they start not dealing with you, and that's a curveball. You might have friends that you've been dealing with, rocking with all your life, and they're just satisfied with going to happy hour and just surviving, paying bills, going on a trip every now and again, and that's just not my cup of tea, right? I want to do something. So a curveball could be not having the same circle. Another thing could be you might have an IRS issue, you might have a criminal issue. Whatever that issue is, you got to deal with it, right? And you got to keep your mental and your physical in a separate location. So no matter what I go through, I don't have my mental and my physical at the same place. And so people like, man, how can you go through that and still have that mindset, still motivate, still inspire? Because my mindset is long left where I am presently physically, mentally I can't keep it in the same location. So just that one little tip, man, will really keep people in the game, because people could be facing depression, right? Because they're like, oh God, woe is me. Listen, it's an opportunity around the corner that is waiting for you, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know that deals with your frequency and your mindset. You know, you've always been big on, you know, tap to the right frequencies and having a mindset. Can you share, how did you tap into the frequency that allows you to, I guess, keep that tunnel vision?
Yeah, I learned this early in, once you start having success in anything. When I was teaching second grade, it was an energy, it was a frequency, right? And a lot of times people think like energy and frequency is the same thing, which is not. Like I can have the right energy and be motivated, but have a bad money frequency, right? So I could be energetically wasting money, right? And so you got to get your energy and your frequency. And when you tie the mindset, those three, nobody will be able to stop you. They'll be confused on how you can get so many things done in a short amount of time. They'll be confused how you can take these curveballs and hit them out the park and hit home runs. And so when you get in the frequency, right, you have to know how you feel. Like when you wake up, right, and you have your money. Sometimes people are in a bad money frequency, right, because they're in this wasted mentality. They want to buy this materialistic things, and they want to go here. They want to buy this car, only to try to impress people who don't even like you, right? And so that's a bad money frequency. Some people can be in a bad mindset where, it's woe is me that I invested in something, I lost money, now I want to take my ball and go home. So I got a bad mindset when it comes to investing because I've been hurt. Something's been taken away from me, right? And so you have to know that even if you lose money in investment, right? That's like college. You went to college, we spent, thousands and thousands of dollars on college and not knowing if it was worth it or not, right? I'm just going to be honest. But at the end of the day, we spent that money. And why? To go get a job that couldn't even pay your bills. And so I could say, forget about that. Or I can take the experience of the pleasure of fraternity and meeting a network of people that I can later along the line do business with that I met through college. So I can look at it two different ways. But it's all in the mindset and how I approach everything. And when you approach it, like if you don't have a right mindset, do not go in business with other folks who don't have a right mindset, because they can then mess up opportunities for you because you're not on the same page, like a two-headed monster. So, I tell folks like, write affirmations. I'm so happy and so grateful that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources, right? On a continuous basis. So it's little affirmations that you can do self-talk. You can Google affirmations and start somewhere to start speaking in your life, so you don't have to depend on people like me to speak in your life for you. Because if you learn how to speak in your life on your own, that's a 24-hour proposition that is on demand, right? And a lot of people, like, it's so funny, like they have a lot of demands before they're in demand, right? And so you have to in demand before you have a lot of demands.
I like that. Absolutely. So what is, in your empire, one of the most important pieces is your team. How do you pinpoint the people to bring on that will be great team players, and how do you build them up so that you can continue to build, collectively?
You know what? It's all about personal development. I'm just looking for people who have a dream, who haven't stopped dreaming. You don't have to have a lot of experience in anything, just that you haven't stopped dreaming. You haven't given up on life, right? And the rest, we can work into that. And so personal development is key. Just showing folks, get them started somewhere, whether it's in business or in network marketing, or just telling them, tell me an idea and let's talk about that idea. And let's create a business side of that idea, right? We just got to get to a point where we start supporting each other, but not only support, on the other end, we got to make sure for the business owners that we're not just giving you, so Jason, you come to my restaurant, if I had a restaurant, and I'm just like treating you any kind of way. But if the president comes, I'm treating them with 7-star service. No, you got to treat everybody like 7-star service, because you never know who knows who. And so that's the thing about like having that energy, that mindset, taking that new person and getting something out of the deal. Now, if folks are lazy and watching TV, it's nothing we can do for them, right? But if folks have a dream and they're willing to work, man, the sky is not even the limit when it comes to the opportunities that we have, especially when we come together and get together. So I love, getting people on the right track. And I know I've been around long enough to know this is not going to work, where we're not going to waste time. But at the end of the day, we got to start somewhere.
How long do you give it before you know this isn't the one that I want on my team, and keep it moving?
Sometimes, man, you'll know right away. Sometimes it takes years, or sometimes it might be for that
Mm,
season they were perfect. So you might have
mm,
somebody that joins your team in this season is perfect for you, but 2 years from now, it's the time has ran out. You know, maybe they're focused on something different, and that's okay. It's not there. It's
right.
not. You always gotta look at going into a new year of who's gonna go into the next year with you. And I think a lot of people just bring everybody in to the year with them. And that's why a lot of folks struggle by the second week in January, because 25% of folks have already given up on their dreams and goals that they set for the new year.
Absolutely. Now, when you're starting a new business venture, what is the foundation that you set before you force with investing your finances, or pulling from the bank or other investors?
Energy, culture. You know, I want to feel the energy of the folks I'm in business with. I want to feel the culture. I want to know your family, you taking care of your kids, your mindset. Like, I want to know those things. Forget about the opportunity. We can make the
Mm,
opportunity work, right? But I just want
right,
to know
right.
energy, because we're in business, we're in partnership. So I like to look at the folks that I'm in this, because I've seen bad energy people mess up a great idea, right? And so, you got to make sure that you want to be in business with the right person. Once you get in business with the right person, man, the best is yet to come. So major things will happen with you only if you have the right people around you. So that's one of the major things I look at in who I'm getting business with. And do I see myself, because it's a marriage, right? Do I see myself
Sure.
in a long-term business partnership, with that person?
I think that's a tough. 'Cause a lot of times, people can get so consumed on the idea and the individuals that say they want to part, but we don't necessarily have the time to assess what it is with their life, to see if some piece will fit to be able to take this business venture.
Yeah.
Now, when we kind of starting off, you do the logistics as far as like a business plan, or scouting, or whatever the case is. Do you do that, or do you structure them around what actually need?
You know what? For me, the business plan is really I go on feeling a lot of times. A lot of the business I've done didn't have a
Mm,
business plan. Not to say don't do one, but
right.
that's like me hiring you and looking at your resume. I want to know you. Forget what's on that paper. I want to know your ideas. I want to know your history. I want you to speak to me. Same thing in opportunities. When people have ideas, I want to hear the opportunity. Tell me because I can give you a business plan that looks phenomenal. I can put the projections on there, do a performer. I
Yeah.
can do all those things, but it still won't work because you never had the right intention. And the only way I'm gonna know
Mm,
that if we have conversations, we go out to dinner, we spend some time with each other. And so you need both, but I'm betting on the individual. I'm not betting what's on paper, because we all can do our own projections and they all can be biased. But I'm betting on the individual, the heart of the tiger, the champion, the eagle that I'm dealing with. And then from there, we can put things on paper, set the agreements up, go ahead and write down the idea, do the projections, 3 year, 5 year, and just to see where we are. But it always, for me, has to start with that individual that I'm doing business with. And I like to keep it
that's
simple.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
so many people like make it complicated that once you get them to do all that, they never do anything, right? And so
Mm,
in some opportunities, just to get people going, you start somewhere. And then you start learning some things that you add to the pie and the puzzle.
got you. Understood. So I want to jump into when business. Cause I know I recall you doing some horse racing. Um, how did you structure that? How did you know the horse and the right jockey, and the right time to race? Like, how did you put those pieces of the puzzle together to succeed in it? Because I remember when you first started out, you were showing pictures like, "Oh man, we won." It was. I don't know how long you were plotting on it, but it seemed as though you had almost instant success.
Yeah.
Like, how did you structure and formulate
Because everything that I do, it all falls under culture. So I find smart people and put them around me. So I don't have to know. All I have to do is put the team together. I'm like a general manager. I'm gonna put the team together. I'm gonna put the best people that I know of in that field and let them and stay out of the way. So I didn't pick out the race. I didn't pick out the jockey. I didn't pick out the horse. I agreed on it and paid for it, but I didn't pick it out. I got individuals that are good at what they do in that. So yeah, The second race we won. We won stakes race. We won allowance races. We won all those things because it was all about culture. I remember horse going off 88-1 and still won the day before Preakness on Black Eye Tuesday, $75,000 purse on a guy who didn't have any experience. Like for me, once I want to do something, I don't need to research it for an hour, 2 hours, or 10 hours. I'm going to try it. I'm going to give it a go. Horse racing, it was a feeling. You know, my video game company was a feeling. My basketball league, it was a feeling. Network marketing, even, it was a feeling. So I do a lot of things when feeling how I feel, right? You know, and so at the end of the day, once I see it, you know, I feel it and I'll just do it. And that's what I do to go to the next level. So I'm fired up about that because I apply those principles to everything that I do.
I love it. I love it. One for you. So going, you tell us about a time where you know, you had worked to a moment of failure, and you know, what did you do to get yourself prepared and your team together so you can push forward to the level?
Yeah, I mean, I've had so many failures, and you know, a lot of times people would never even know because again, you know, my mental and physical is not in the same location. So when I come across opposition or failures or things that I've tried and I failed in, then I get even more motivated to find out the way. And so the best thing that I can do is, you know, not beat myself up, not be discouraged. Like, what is that word? Like, I'm living, I'm breathing. How am I going to be discouraged, right? And so I just get encouraged. And so every time I fall on my face, I found out a way to be encouraged. You know, Les Brown said, if you fall down, fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. So that's my whole mantra. Like, man, I'm going to fall on my back because I'm going to look up and I'm definitely going to get up. And, you know, I'm never going to let people see me sweat. Like, I want them to see me in all types of scenarios and shows. So when they hit and go through those things, I can train them and feel good about training them because they've seen that I'm not a travel agent with this thing. I'm a tour guide. See, the difference between a travel agent and tour guide, a travel agent will tell you about a place that they've never been to, right? A tour guide will tell you a place that they are experienced, and there's a difference. And there's so many travel agents out there these days that they never been to where they're trying to get you. And so just look for those tour guide mentors that have already been there, and so they can shorten up your learning curve. But I can tell you, you know, that fires me up to even go in more beast mode and play Rocky Balboa, Eye of the Tiger even more, especially when I fall on my face.
I know that's right. What are some keys to advertising and marketing that allows you to grow, get your product seen, services seen, and being able to, you know, just continue to, you know, mold your empire?
Yeah, man, you got to do a combination these days. You know, you can't just do word of mouth. What we grew up on relationship marketing, right? You got to do digital marketing, social media. Like you have to have it all. You got to do some paid ads. You got to do some YouTube. You got to meet people, be nice to people, ask for referrals. It's a combination. You got to be high tech and high touch, right? Online and offline, right? And so, you know, I'm not, you know, pigeonholed just to the online. I'm not pigeonholed just to the offline. I'm gonna do a little bit of everything. But the biggest marketing, that the secret, and a lot of people can't do it, is attraction marketing. So when you learn how to attract the things that you want, you don't have to run around. You always have enough of. You always have opportunities because people are going to be incredibly attracted to being in business with you, reaching out to you because of the energy that you're putting out. And so that's one of the biggest marketing attributes I have is that attraction marketing, because at the end of the day, I know I can attract certain things in my life, and I know we're going to get to it and make it happen. That's just the mindset that we have a no nonsense. It's going to happen, but make sure we bring the culture together and make sure we elevate individuals. So it's not only you winning, but it's other people winning at the same time.
Absolutely. And, you know, I had a mentor tell me, he was saying, you know, with structuring your nonprofit, that stop going out here looking for people, because the people that you need that will benefit you, they'll attract to you. But we still have to put ourselves in a position to do the legwork so that we can, you know, continue the tours. What is something that you would give to the entrepreneur that's out there that's looking to strive past the threshold of, you know, maybe they got to 6 figures and they got comfortable? You know, I remember seeing you, and, you know, a lot of individuals who have achieved the level of success, they stopped doing some of the little things. And I remember, you know, we would have a full meeting and nobody showed up. You say, okay, well, nobody came up, everybody break out your book, get your own numbers and get it cracking. And you would sit there and you would get your book and you would pull the numbers out and you would start doing the little things. You know, what kind of advice would you give to these individuals that are stuck at a threshold?
Well, anybody who gets comfortable with six figures or even a million, the dream is not big enough. Like that, it's a dream problem, because you got to elevate yourself, and they're comparing, they're being the thermometers, meaning they're comparing themselves to everybody else. And so if everybody else is making 50,000, they making six figures, they think they've made it. For me, you got to be a thermostat, right? And so things that I want and the things that I want to help other people accomplish, I can't stop. I won't stop, right? It's just the beginning. And so, I think about even, some of the dreams and goals that I have, and owning 50% of the Ravens, and really, having a currency after my name and things of that nature. Like you got to dream big. And so anytime we were in the atmosphere, I'm never going to be comfortable because somebody else is doing way better than I am in my field. And I got to always be competitive in my industry, in business. And so, everybody has someone who's kicking his butt. And so I'm very competitive. So I make sure that I'm never content. And I want to show people what you do. So nobody showed up. What does that mean? We can still make calls and still get people done. So we make 10 calls, get 3 people to sign up. We still won. So 3 people could have showed up and nobody joined. So it's always setting that tone and temperature. And that was like years. That was like over a decade ago, probably, right? And it was like a long time ago. Still remember it. So people remember what you do in certain categories, and they don't want to hear you training on stuff that you really is not a part of. That's not a part of you. And so I appreciate you bringing that up, man. It just reminds me of man, we had some good times and we made a lot of things happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, in the process, have you ever been in a position where you say, you know what, I don't even want you as a client. I don't even want to bring you on board with me. Even, you have the money, but I just, don't want no parts.
Yeah, because remember, energy, all money is not good money, right? And so if the energy is wrong, I know nothing good is going to come out of it. It's transactional. I don't look for transactional. I look for transformational. So if we're going to do something in encounters, I want it to be transformational. Like, we can make money, but I want you to be able to take more. And that's why, sometimes you might have partnered up with someone that maybe you didn't make money at that point, but you got some key things and foundational stuff in that moment that helped you make money 5 years from that point and 10 years. And a lot of people don't talk about that. I've been in scenarios that I didn't particularly make money with the person, but they gave me some stuff that later down the line, when I was ready, that I made a lot of money on something I learned years and years ago. And so you got to understand that sometimes you get information that's going to help you along the way, then that becomes the asset.
I like that. I appreciate that. Now, can you tell us about your book?
Yeah, man, Singled Out, like, man, it was one of those things that, I found myself on top of my game, going, traveling on convention stages. And the crazy thing is I get a letter in the mail and it said, "You've been indicted." I'm like, indicted? I felt like that movie, that Ace Ventura, indicted. And I'm like, what in the world? Because you do good business, you take care of people. You're like, how in the world can I be? And so it's all about handling your business, handling your paperwork. You can't be running around without making sure you fill out this and fill out that. And I never forget that they were indicting myself and my wife. And I'm like, for what? And they said we didn't enclose a bank account on a 341 meeting. I'm like, a bank account? Something I never used before that I didn't even know it was open. I'm like, come on now. And I know how, and they've been looking. I mean, we had, a large house in Maryland. I mean, we were Porsches. And so they were looking at us for like 5 years. And this is why I say you can't be in business with people, because somebody prompted that investigation who I walked away from in business because they weren't right. And so they wrote them a letter like hiding properties and their father's name, and the father wasn't even living. And when I read it, I was like, golly, this person was obsessed. But if I would have went on energy and didn't do business and walked away from that particular situation, I would have never went through that, right? So going through, fast forwarding, when I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute. And I know how the government works. Like, people who operate on a small level, they don't understand, right? When the government looks at you for 5 years, 95% of the time, they have something. You know what I mean? That's why 95% conviction rate, right? So they have something. So I was like, you know what? I said, you got it. Because I seen they did this to my brother before, right? They mistaken identity in him and still pinned something on him. I'm like, what? How does that work? So I had already saw that movie before, and I wasn't going to risk it. I met people in the facility that risked and got 20 years. So I said, you know what? You're right. I need to sit down. It might be something God saying, son, you need to sit down, right? And so when I went through that scenario, I remember going to the judge, it's like, something is missing. In 20 years, I've never seen somebody convicted for something like this. And I was like, man, well, let me go. But since you said you pled, because you better plead or they're going to smash you. And they said, I have to do it, but I just want to make sure you weren't singled out. And that's why I came up with the title of the book, Singled Out, because I was like, man, this is some crazy stuff. But even at that point, I remember like my mentors and everybody there, I told them like, listen, I'm gonna flip the script on it. Don't worry about it. And because we've made great financial decisions, it was always good, but you got to handle your business. And this is how like your restitution, if you really did something, you're going to pay for it back ×3. Restitution, man, we ain't had no restitution, but what they did do is spend money for those last 5 years, so they're going to have to get a win. And I just wasn't willing, financial literacy, to spend $350,000 for attorneys, just for them to do what they were going to do anyway, right? And I do know that from knowing different folks that operate on a high level. So I learned from that. Right, I wrote a book. I released it on my release date, and it was a beautiful thing. And it's just something that now I can take to the community because it happens to people all the time. Like people got cop pleas all the time, knowing that they didn't do anything, but they like, what? They're not going to be facing 15. They're not going to be facing 20 years because Fed is different from state, believe me. And it was so crazy that even in the energy of, the mayor of Baltimore, I was thinking about her today. And, I don't know her, but we crossed paths. And I'm like, it's so many shysters in Wall Street, so many shysters that do way worse and they get a pass, they walk, right? And I'm like, man, it's just so crazy. Once you see all sides of the story, what goes on behind closed doors, then you won't even make an opinion about anyone. Like, when you don't know, you just don't know. And so that's what prompted that book, so I can tell my story before somebody else tries to tell the story. And I didn't lose any business. I made more money when I was in than when I was out. And
That's a blessing, man.
Company in there, my basketball league still went on, my network marketing, everything still went. And I just came out, instead of wanting to make millions and millions of dollars, I wanted to make billions of dollars. So they gave me a whole different mindset. So I appreciate them.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You that's a blessing to be able to be in a position like that and get that residual income. And majority of the work is done through email and over the phone, man. That's a powerful mindset that you have to be behind those walls and still be able to produce how you've been producing over the years.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm excited. I'm grateful for the support system too. I got some incredible people, around me, and so you got to have a great support system. Once you have that, man, I mean, that's just half the battle. So I appreciate all the prayer warriors. And, I just remember sometimes you need a person like me needed that experience. Right. And I just often laugh. Like I just couldn't believe it. Right. But at the same time, man, what God set that up for me, and I appreciate him. It was a much needed vacation. I've been grinding for 20 years. If it wasn't for that, I would have been saying I've been grinding for 21 years straight. So that was a break. I worked out, I coached. I won some championships in there. They called me coach because I was just a competitor. So no matter where I go, I'm gonna compete and I'm gonna win. That's just the mindset I have.
I like that. That's taking the good with the bad and seeing the good in the bad.
Yeah.
And being able to just mass produce like that, man, that's next level success there. That is success, man, to be able to produce like that in a time of just needing that mental toughness, knowing that you're away from family and, everybody else. That's strong, brother. That's strong.
Yeah. That was like, man, that's when the eye of the tiger, I had my eye of the tiger, that workout too. I'm like, people like, how are you doing? They call me Mr. Phenomenal in there because how are you doing? I'm phenomenal. How are you? You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, you can't take my mental soul on a high. You can take my physical, but you can't take my mental. People go wrong when they allow people to take their mental away from them. So I'm just so grateful. I don't allow people to take my mental.
True story. Now, where can people get your book from?
They can go to Amazon.com to get the and they search Singled Out. Also, I have a free credit ebook on there. They can go to freecreditebook.info and get my ebook because I just want folks they can work on their own credit. This is the season. This is going to be the biggest transfer of wealth. So you got to get your credit together. You got to get your relationships together. You got to get your culture. You got to get your team together, your marketing together. And so I make sure that folks are on point. They're on point when it comes to all of those things. And so I'm so grateful. And I'll make sure I put it in the comment section of where you can get a lot of the stuff that I have, and we go to the next level with it. But I'm fired up, Jay.
Absolutely. I got about 2, 3 more questions for you. So how much time do you spend on actually structuring like your marketing plan or how you're gonna, market and so on and so forth?
The crazy thing now is like I really have people who help me with that stuff. So, we just have marketing meetings, but my main source is like it's word of mouth marketing. And so we don't do a whole bunch of social media. You have a team of people that everybody's doing a little bit. Other things such as, my video game is all about, demographics. It's all about who are you trying to reach out to and making sure you're advertising speech to those type of people. And so, we have our meetings every week for an hour, just to go through what we're going to do for that week. And so we're just very focused on the end goal and the end game so we can go to the next level.
Nice. Now, can you tell us, because you've been doing network marketing for a long time, can you tell us about the network marketing company that you're with and, what you all are doing and how you're helping the people?
Yeah, man, we have an event going on right now. I think I'm about to speak in a sec, but, it's called Bula Vida, but it's a health and wellness company. I never thought, Jay, we were in financial service together. We say no lotions, no potions. Man, I was so we weren't trying to do no health and wellness, but man, it's literally changed my life because we are taking the muscadine, and I don't think you've even heard of muscadine before if you haven't seen, but it's there's a super antioxidant. The king of superfruits is like the Ferrari of superfruits at 53 times higher than Noni. Noni went to $1 billion in sales, right? And so this superfruit is, people hadn't heard about it. It's grown in the Southeast. And so we're spreading the message. And right now in this day and time, health and wealth is so important, right? You can't have one without the other. People are running around. And this is my personal opinion with these vaccines, not knowing what's in them. And I'm seeing all these reports. And people like, and a lot of the black people, I got my vaccine. And all the preacher would tell me that. Like, I got my vaccine. No, don't do that because you don't know what's in it. So how can you tell me away when you don't even know? You don't know what's in that. And there's so many things behind the scenes that's going on with it. And so now I need to boost my immune system. I need to make better food choices. I need to make sure my tribe, the people I do business with, they're making a great food choice and health decisions. So we decided to take muscadine to the world. And, financially, man, like everything that I do has come from network marketing. Like every project I've done, I take the money from there and pay other people to do the other businesses. Folks say multiple streams of income, but multiple streams of income means that you're very good at one thing, you make a lot of money, and then you pay other people to run those other things. A lot of folks are running so many different things, it's just hard to laser focus. So yeah, we're excited. We're always looking for folks to partner up with when it comes to the health and wellness company. And in February, man, I'm just like really so motivated going into February to do something great in February. Not just for Black History Month, but for Andre History Month. Because that was the day that the month that I came back from the federal facility. And I'm just like, I need always constant reminders of how grateful I am just to be here, even on this feed with you and to make a difference in somebody's life.
Absolutely. I appreciate your time. I know you got a gun because you got another call. Real quick, I want to know, on your leadership calls, do you still make everybody do Black History facts?
I don't do that anymore. I make my children do it, man. Right now, we have a diverse team. So I never want to make people feel uncomfortable, but folks do need to know, their history. They need to know their history because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's like, man, I'm just so fired up to do what I need to do to go to the next level. I'm excited. I'm just so excited, to have a diverse team and to make sure that all money is green, but we do need to take care within our community so we can make it happen.
Absolutely. Well, Andre, man, I really appreciate your time, the nuggets that you were shared, the information that you shared. I really hope that somebody was able to grasp something of what he gave and that it shifts your paradigm of you and allows you to propel in success and in life and to continue to chase those dreams that you deserve to accomplish. If possible, Andre, can you throw in the comments or say, how people can find you on Instagram or Facebook? So if they have any questions, anything, they can reach out to you.
Yeah. I'll put everything in the comments. Andre Vaughn 22 on Instagram, Andre L. Vaughn on Facebook. But I'll put everything in the comments. And I appreciate what you're doing, and everybody needs to be following this movement because this is the biggest transfer of wealth that will ever have happened. And so we got to be focused in this season so we can go to a whole nother level. So I'm excited like never before. I'm telling you, I'll see you at the bank because we're going to be making plenty of deposits. Thanks, my friend.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm going to have to have you come out to the summer camp this summer, man, so you can talk to the youth.
Oh, yeah, I'm there. Put me down. I'm there.
I got you. Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate your time, man. And I'll be in the house. I'll see you all next time. Be blessed and talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, brother.